Hello everyone, this is Joe, 4 Soft Corners here, and for today's video I'm going to do this is a video response to Brian from High Pop Professor. This isn't a contest, it was just as a response to a video that him and Iconic Al did for their brothers duo segment they do, and basically their questions, or the question Brian asked and then to his brother, and then in the comments back and forth talking to him, he just said he was curious and would like to see what others thought are really where we see our collections going in the next couple years, with maybe somewhat what our target for an end game is, and then what percentage we could put on our collections as far as percentage complete for what we'd like to collect. And so I want to talk about that. Before I really get into that, I want to give a little bit of backstory about what really got me thinking about this more and more after seeing that, and where I find myself and what I've been up to in the whatever 2 months now out of the National. Which really, all my latest videos have just been the pickups, and I really kind of strung out. I mean, I was like 6-7 weeks out of it and was still showing pickup videos. Part of that was I just kind of wanted to do that on purpose, and part of it was, I don't want to say like I think last year it was a big thing of like hobby burnout and talking about that. It was just I think without really knowing it, I found myself in a position where I have to start asking some of these questions about my collection, and then video from Brothers Duo came along and made me think about that even more, and kind of just been taking my time a little bit, and maybe I haven't been as immersed in the hobby and the community, so I know I've missed out on some actual contest responses some of my friends have had out here, and I apologize for that. Like I said, just this one really hit me, and I just wanted to make a video talking about it a little bit. So basically, leading up to the National, I was so like just immersed in every single night, like when any free time I had, when got home from work and was done, doing stuff around the house, was doing everything I could in the months leading up just to build my budget up more by going through cards, from sets I had started, from vintage sets and stuff like that, and doing everything I could to take just that bulk that I don't feel like I really needed, or was from sets or projects that were gonna take forever to complete, and used all that to kind of streamline into some just bigger, more meaningful quality cards. So just the amount of time that, and then just the constant in my head, just thinking about what the National, like everything I wanted to do and who I wanted to talk to and who I wanted to meet, it was like so much of that. And all this is in no way whatsoever negative. I mean, then the National happened. I had such a great time with all my friends, got to stay with and meet people I've only talked to over the phone. It was just everything I could have wanted and more. So in no way whatsoever negative, but just kind of when that was done, it was like almost needed to take like a breath for a little bit, just because I was it honestly, just being away for 4 or 5 days and staying up late and ending up getting up early then, and just going and looking at cards and talking about cards nonstop, like it got to a point where, like, to get back to my normal life, I know it sounds weird, but I've heard others kind of say the same thing. It just was so overwhelming, kind of like I said, leading up to it, all those nights where I would be down here with my cards just looking through, and I also did a lot leading up to it with checklists, going through, putting everything that I decided that I was going to keep in trading card database, and then building checklists of mostly like the Phillies team set needs. And then the National happened, and kind of the first night, I'll just show these two cards quick to show something. These were two of the three like kind of cards on my want list, somewhat bigger cards. Not, I mean, this is the first one, wasn't anything huge, but I mean, this was the only one of these I saw the whole National, so I'm glad I pulled the trigger on it when I did. But so this was only a couple hours into the show, found that, and I paid cash for that, and was, I don't know, probably less than 5% of my whole budget. And then this was kind of the big card I was hoping for the whole show. Found this copy and basically just traded cards I had brought with the intention of putting in the cards I wanted more, and $10 I needed to complete the deal. So still, like I said, got two of my three bigger focuses that I was gonna look for the whole show, and had basically almost my whole budget still left, so plus some other cards to trade. So going in, my thought was kind of to look for those cards that I wanted for sure, until I either got them or couldn't find them, and then at that point I assumed I'd be running lower on funds, and then just start looking through, you know, binders and stuff, and looking for cards for team sets and stuff like that. And it never really got to that point. I picked these two up that first night, and like I said, with so much remaining ammunition of my budget left, kind of just decided I liked this and I'm gonna keep looking for cards like that, and that's basically what I did. I never really even had, I never really was focusing at any point on finding much like for less than like a $50 price point, and it was just I liked having all the cards to look at. And so let me try and get this into the subject of this video then. That was kind of like a pivot. Like I said, I built those team checklists. I fully expected I was going to spend maybe a day or two doing that, and I didn't do it at all. So that was kind of like a pivot mid-show, and then kept going. Loved all the pickups I had. Couldn't be happier with what I came home with and all the experiences. But then going forward, like, what do I do now? So just this past weekend, I went to the Philly show with my friend Bryn. Just went on Friday for one day. It was awesome. I'll say that. Like, only being there maybe 5.5 hours one day. I definitely think there was more vintage. It was a greater than 50% vintage to modern, in my opinion, and still a great mix of things, and was just so much more manageable than the National is. Not, again, the National is great, but anyway, I went in with very little budget because, like I said, it was almost like a 2-year process to whittle down things I didn't want and sell off to put into things I wanted more, or trade. But I went in really with the thought of maybe just spending like less than $100. I'll show off my pickups in another video, which I was actually pretty proud of the restraint I had to not, go crazy, because you're still in a room with all these great cards, and I mean, there were still some things in my head that if I saw, I probably would have, I didn't have that much cash with me, but I would either hit the ATM or use PayPal or something like that for, but didn't. And anyway, just as far as the questions that were asked, the way I look at it, I mean, I really, it's a personal matter of opinion. And I mean, I know, like when Brian asked the question, Al's collection, what he's decided to do for the main part of his collection is, you know, kind of really different with his iconic top 100 list. I mean, it's great to have that focus and then just go on a player by player, number by number basis. And then once you get, you know, stuff you're content with for each player, like being able to say you're basically done. For me, just the way I choose to collect things and the way I'm often inspired by others to pick things up. To me, it's more, I'm just going to throw an infinity sign out there for percentage, because I can't really see a target or like a end game as far as saying I'm done. I'm gonna, as long as I am passionate about collecting and enjoy the cards and enjoy the community and you know, watching videos about cards and all that and talking about it, I'm going to want to keep collecting new things or create new projects. I definitely want to have more of a focus on things. So as far as like I said, maybe an end game or what percentage complete currently am, I'm just throwing that infinity sign up there because I really don't know. And I don't think I really ever would. I can't foresee a circumstance where I would be to say I'm done, because at that point, part of it's probably I should be enjoying what I have currently more, but we all enjoy seeing that new thing or collecting in a way we didn't know, didn't think of before, didn't know was possible. Just so many things are gonna come up that I'm gonna be into, and I know at times I lose focus and I get into them a little bit and then I just end up maybe selling that stuff off, but to me it's just all part of the process and is all fun. But as far as for the next few years, I definitely going forward, I've said this to a lot of people already, I already, just for travel and everything like that, I didn't really foresee myself going to Chicago, and I think the National's going to be there the next 3 years. So I really don't see that happening. And now finding the Philly show, well, not, I mean, I knew it existed, but going to it finally and just seeing how great that is. And, you know, went to my friend's house and from there it was like an hour and 35 minutes. So that's fantastic to be able to just do that drive in one day and come back. And with the show being 3 times a year, like that's, as far as show wise or anything I'm going to build up any kind of budget for, to besides anything online to look for, I think I'm going to invest it all in that. I know I won't be able to see bulk as much of the community, but there's still a lot of people that'll attend that show, and maybe if anybody has any similar way of thought that you know, not going to the National but going to some of these regional shows like this more, there might be more and more people from outside of just, you know, the Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York area that may end up going there, Virginia. But so yeah, as far as maybe community wise and show wise and stuff like that, that's going to be a focus. And then I really, collection wise, I really need to do more. Like I said, the last 2 months or so, it's been, I just didn't even, I've been enjoying just catching up on some different TV shows, and I had fun doing that. But do kind of really miss just going through the cards and building, you know, want lists and stuff. And going forward, that's really before I take the next step, and I do want to do the Phillies team set thing, but there's still cards that I'd like just to represent. I mean, I love the 50s, vintage baseball and football. So there's so, and then pre-war is just pulling me in more and more on all the tobacco issues. So but I kind of really want to, to this point, for the most part, I've just picked up random things, and it kind of fits in a bucket as far as a whole, but want to really maybe create a list, go through almost like year by year and say, this is something I'd want from this year as a representative of this player or this set or this team. And then on top of all that, the stuff Brian collects is just so, I mean, that's pure nostalgia for me and stuff from my childhood, and there's so many things there I want to. So I just, I said the next couple years, there's still going to be things that pull me randomly, and I'm going to, just without much thought, see something and probably pick it up. I usually like that to be on the lower end, but I know it's going to happen. But still, as far as bigger collecting goals, definitely want to get more focused there and, build out. I think I'm going to basically just go through maybe TCDB or different stuff like that and take time and look through card by card and player by player and be like, I'd like that one, and build a somewhat of a checklist there. It's still going to be huge, but yeah, that's kind of the way I think I'm going to try and focus in on things. And then there's like the 2014 Finest Greats auto set. Anytime I see cards from that at a decent price, or just to come up at all, I'm going to be watching. And so different little projects like that. Probably still, there's the 49 Bowman, 53 Bowman, Stan Musial. Those are definitely on the list. But like I said, to sum it all up, this was, like I said, came right in the middle of a time where I was already kind of in a taking a step back, kind of just to look at where I'm at and what I wanted to do. And then Brian and Al made that video and just thought it was so great. And so I just want to say I really enjoyed just seeing the two of you. I mean, it's just so cool to have two brothers just to share that bond over cardboard and the excitement over it, and just in general, that's awesome. And then the topics you guys come up with are just great to listen to. So it came along at like the perfect time to just the few weeks or whatever since that's been out, just thought about it more and more. And then like I said, I don't apologize to anybody that normally watches my stuff. I've probably been putting out less than a video a week, but definitely going to try and get more into that. But like I said, this video kind of hit a perfect time to just think about it and reflect more. And definitely going to try and start that process of really building out, a checklist checklist database of things I would really want. So, but if either of you or if any of you are not subscribed to Brian, High Pop Professor, or Al at Iconic Baseball individually, check out their channels. And then I don't know if it's always on Brian's channel or if they flip-flop, but I know the last one was definitely on Brian's channel. The brothers duo it's just great hobby content. So I know I rambled on here for a while, but just really great, thought-provoking question. Hope I answered it. I know I lost focus a lot in there, and but that's where I'm at. And so hope you enjoy this, Brian. I know you were interested in seeing people's opinions, but everyone else, check them out. Thank you for watching, and just remember, any card can be a great looking card even if it has 4 soft corners. Thank you.